and welcome to vlog number 3. Today we are going to be talking about cross training and the importance of cross training and why triathletes should make sure that they incorporate cross training into their weekly training regime. So Rob, what is cross training?
You said cross training.
I know, I'm emphasising the importance of cross training. So what is it, Rob?
Cross training? Well, Lauren, cross training is training across different disciplines. So for triathlon, we're already doing 3 sports. Swimming is fairly non-impact. Cycling, again, fairly non-impact as long as you've got the bike set up correctly. Running is obviously the one discipline where most injuries occur. So this is perhaps the area where strength work, Pilates, core work, work in the gym, cross training can be most beneficial.
Yeah.
Obviously it's good to develop strength for swimming and cycling anyway, but I think that running is one area that people tend to pick up little niggles, hold little tight spots, so actually having a way of doing something different, finding a different way, rowing machine for example, cross training we've mentioned, steppers.
Yeah, you've got the step machines, some horrible
step machines,
machines at
they're
the gym.
pretty good fun. Yep, there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah.
So we're just sort of going to run through a few of the benefits of some of those. So Loren, pick one, let's have a chat about it.
So cross training, I'll say it again, just in case I hadn't said it enough times already. It is really good for developing strength in muscles.
Yeah, but pick one, we've already said about that. But pick one, pick an exercise.
Oh, okay, sorry. So Pilates, let's go with Pilates.
Alright. Is that because you're an expert at Pilates?
Guess who's a Pilates instructor?
I'm not.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Okay, so how does Pilates benefit triathletes?
So Pilates really works on your flexibility, helps keep those muscles nice and supple, but at the same time it's developing your flexibility. It also helps strengthen your muscles. There's a lot of strength work in Pilates, but the benefit I would say with Pilates over just normal weight training is a lot of the exercises, whilst they strengthen the muscles, they also work to kind of lengthen them as well. So a lot of the time when you're weight training, your muscles will shorten. Hamstrings are a prime example of that. You then start getting tight muscles, which then cause problems. So for me, Pilates is king or queen.
Well, you use Pilates Reformer.
I use the Pilates Reformer, yeah.
Yeah. But any kind of Pilates is good. So strengthen that core, isn't it? Yeah, but it's good. But obviously you need a little bit of shortening and lengthening the muscles in the normal lifting manner. So that strength is good, but also eccentric strength where you're keeping the muscles the same length throughout the movement. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. So what about yoga?
Yoga is good for developing flexibility. The one thing I would say with yoga is some of the exercises.
Why are you looking at the ceiling?
I'm just trying to think how to word this without offending any yoga teachers out there or yoga fanatics. Some of the stretches that you do in yoga are quite contraindicated, and by that I mean they're actually bad for you if you've got an existing injury. So with someone with spinal problems, back problems, there are actually certain stretches that you shouldn't do within yoga.
Is it more about the stretches, or is it the amount of time that you hold poses?
Bit of both. Okay. Some of the stretches will have you moving in completely unnatural ways.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, if you've already got an underlying problem, you shouldn't be doing those, and you can hold them for too long, which can also cause problems.
I'm guessing if you know you've got a problem.
Yeah.
And then you make someone aware of it, they'll say, you know what, don't do that, do something else. Sorry. So, yeah, we can't say that it's bad for you. You just got to be sensible.
Be careful with what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're going in with a back injury, like Loren says, and then you're holding positions for someone that's got a normal, healthy, strong back, then you're going to get into all kinds of problems, aren't you? Okay, what about the gym? I haven't really touched much on the gym. Would you use the gym for athletes?
Yeah, so I'd kind of use a mixture of kind of weight training techniques. So developing muscular endurance, so think about lighter weights but higher reps to develop that muscular endurance, but we also want to develop the strength as well, so think about kind of upping the weights a little bit, and then lower reps. So you need to kind of mix it up to make sure you're developing all areas of muscular strength and endurance.
Yeah, body weight stuff. Lots of body weight stuff. You know, we're not trying to make you super muscly, but what we are thinking is if you've got 8 to 12 times your body weight going through your legs when you're running, and you're just, you know, let's what were 80 kilos.
Yeah.
If I do a body weight squat, 80 kilos going through my body. If I'm looking to sprint, I don't sprint that often in triathlons, but if I was looking to run really fast, let's say 8 times, here you go, accountant, 8 times 80.
400.
Are you sure?
5 times 80 is 400, yeah.
Yeah, but 8 times 80.
Oh, 640.
Whoa, we heard it first there.
640, I thought you said
8 times 80 is not 400, ladies and gentlemen.
640.
Yeah, so you think 640 kilos of weight coming through my body, potentially, that's a lot. And I'm going to do body weight squats. It's just a bit silly, so don't be afraid to get on the leg press, start pushing some heavy weight, because you need to get used to it. You need to do some body weight stuff. You need to make sure that you're doing core strength, but you also need to not be afraid of lifting some heavy weights, because it's going to be useful in the swim. What would you say is the most beneficial kind of weight exercise or weight machine to use for a swim?
Definitely work the upper body, so think sort of shoulder press, chest press, because they're going to be the muscles that you're using most, you know, when you're doing the swim.
Right, lat pull down.
Lat pull down as well, yeah, really, because you know it's going to help you with the catch and pull in the water.
Yep.
You know, you shouldn't really be using your legs that much in the swim. You know, you're not going to be kicking hell for leather, so definitely think about, you know, developing the upper muscle strength, because also we need to make sure that the shoulder girdle and kind of shoulder joints are supported, because if they're not and the muscles around them aren't working well, you're going to be looking at injuries.
A bit of rotator cuff work on the cables perhaps, and dumbbell work for the shoulder, you know, lateral raises, reverse flies, all kinds of good stuff like that.
I'd also say definitely don't neglect your core for the swim either, because it's going to be engaging your core, which is going to, you know, make sure you're able to hold your body position in the water as well. So.
And then that leads into the cycle then, so good strong core, particularly if you're in a sort of
aerodynamic.
If
you're on a TT bike.
Yeah, or an old lady bike.
No, don't just the road bikes.
No, an old lady bike. That was an old lady bike.
Okay.
Road bike, you like that? Anyway, you need core strength for the bike.
Yeah, make sure.
Obviously, you need good leg strength as well. So powerful quads, powerful glutes, powerful hamstrings, good calves.
Yeah.
So lots and lots of weight on those, absolutely. And then obviously for the run, again, it's a lot of leg work, but we also need to think about core strength.
Yeah.
As the other thing, keep you upright. Lots of hip strength, but also we need to work, you know, the flexibility. So that then links back to Pilates. You know, you want to be strengthening, but you also want to maintain flexibility. So, you know, some engagement of muscle under stretch conditions is good. So yeah. Any other things that we can think of that are good for cross-training triathletes?
I think in terms, if you were to do a different, you know, type of cardio, I would probably suggest the cross trainer. It still works similar muscles. You know, you're still working all your leg muscles, but it doesn't have the same impact as, say, you know, getting on a treadmill or something like that. So again, if you're kind of suffering from injuries from running, you know, you don't have to stop doing cardio altogether. Actually, the cross trainer will work to keep the legs ticking over, and you know, without that impact of road running or running on a treadmill.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of interesting points. So obviously, I've been a PT for 15 years and I've worked in gyms for 13 of those. And the interesting thing is that as a PT, teaching people how to use cross trainers for just being in the gym using it cross training, you teach people to, you know, keep back nice and flat, hands lightly on the handles, keep your feet flat, don't lift your heels off. But actually what some top coaches are saying about cross training for runners and triathletes is that actually, because the cross trainer doesn't have that plantar flexion, So the motion of kind of, that kind of motion of putting your foot. So imagine this, if I put my foot up, it's going to look really odd. Wow. Yeah. No,
you get it all in these vlogs.
If you stand up because you've got good balance, right, lift your foot. So
it's awesome rock taping as well.
Yeah, by me. So it's that action there. You're not getting that on the cross trainer. And that's obviously massively important for running because that's where your force production comes from. That's where your kind of springy step, flying feet power comes from. So what they're actually saying is that for runners and triathletes, if you're recovering from a calf or a soleus injury, Achilles tendonitis, keep your feet flat. If you're using it because you just want to lessen the impact, then just put a little bit of lift in the heels as you're going along, and that will just add a little bit of plantar flexion into the movement, so that's good. Yeah. The other thing to bear in mind is that obviously the knee lift on a cross trainer is very slight, so because there isn't much of a knee bend. Now this is something that I've spent my whole life as a trainer laughing at people doing this, but what they're also saying is that if you do some single leg work, so you only work one side, obviously the other platform is going to go, so you just sort of basically doing one-legged cross training. Again, little bursts of 20-30 seconds of that on each leg is very good for developing the muscles for the knee lift. So there's a couple of little tips in there for you. So your fitness instructors and PTs in the gym will just look at you, roll their eyes and tell you you're doing it wrong, but actually you can say, well, Rob and Loren told me that if I want to improve my running using the cross trainer, I need to lift my heels for dorsiflexion, and I also need to make sure that I practice my knee drive by the single leg cross training burst.
So might be PTs, but they may not be triathlon coaches.
Boom.
Might drop moment.
Totes. But I was one of those, a few years ago. So it's quite interesting that the fitness industry will say keep your feet flat, both legs going at the same time. But actually, if you think about the movement of running, and you actually spend time, looking at the dynamics of the gait and movement, then that's the sort of stuff you should be doing. So very interesting. But obviously, don't do that if you're on the cross trainer because you've injured. Because if you've got a bad calf and you go lifting your heels up, you're going to say, that Rob, he doesn't really know what he's talking about. So if you're injury free and you want to do something a bit less impactful, if your shins are hurting, hopefully you've watched our video on recovering from shins. If you're recovering from little knocks, little aches, little pains, or you just want to do something a little bit different, then give it a go. So I suppose we should wrap that up, shouldn't we? So to conclude, Loren is about to say cross training loads of times.
Cross training? No, so cross training, massively important to include in your weekly. I'm really conscious and I really don't want to say it now.
Say what?
That word. And it's really good for developing body strength, muscular endurance, muscular strength, kind of all round, and perhaps develop muscles that you wouldn't necessarily develop efficiently from just running, cycling and swimming.
So what have you got to do?
C-train.
Ooh.
They've got a train that begins with that. That's an X.
X-train. That's confusing.
Cross
it is a cross, yeah. It's a cross, but it's also an X-train. Cool.
So,
there you go. So that is week 3 done. Hope that's been useful. If you've got some comments and some other stuff that you do that we haven't mentioned, there's so many machines out there. Air bikes and boxing, all kinds of stuff that people probably do to, I don't know what the pros do actually. I know Ali's got his treadmill in the water, hasn't he? He's got an infinity infinity pool or endless pool with a treadmill on it, so that's what he does his running training on.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out, wouldn't it?
How the other half live.
Maybe. Yeah, that's like, I looked into getting one. Obviously we can't get it yet, but about 25,000. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
We need to get us some sponsors.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to sponsor us with a endless pool
with a treadmill in,
let us know. Details down below. But yeah, comment and let us know what cross training you do, and hopefully that's been useful.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week, and have a
good week.
good week. Yeah, amazing. God, I need a coffee, definitely.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. See you later. Bye.